What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to CRÜZR Radio, episode number 1. I'm your host, Wesley Hill, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Hunter Harris. We got 2 special guests today, Mr. Jerry Turner and the man who started it all, Mr. Chad Rice. We're going to recap the Tennessee Velvet Hunt, the Tennessee Dove Opener, and go behind the scenes of CRÜZR HQ. Let's get into it. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's up, brother?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Hunter, how are you today, man?
Good.
That's good, man. You excited for this podcast?
Very excited. Been looking forward to it for as long as we've been talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's been a good minute. Chad, how are you today?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Rocking and rolling, ready for this. It's highly anticipated.
Yeah, we've been trying to get this going for a little while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm excited. I'm excited. You and I worked on the setup here for the last week, and
yeah, it's finally looking good, man. Too, man. It looks really
like
good.
It. Yep.
What about you, Jerry? How you been?
I'm good, just
being Jerry.
Just being myself. Yeah.
That's what I love, dude. That's awesome.
Keeping the behind the scenes rocking and rolling,
Yeah, dude. Well, we're gonna get into that today, but what we want to start off with is that recap of the Tennessee Velvet, because all of us hunted except for Mr. Jerry. But I want to know your experience, Mr. Co-host.
Well, Friday, I hunted Friday morning, Friday evening. I hunted every day. Friday, the only morning.
Yeah.
Hunted Friday evening, Saturday evening, Sunday evening. Didn't see anything till Sunday evening, but seen a lot.
What'd you see Sunday?
Seen 8 does and about 500,000 turkeys.
500.
That's a lot.
Tell everyone there's 500.
Did see a lot of turkeys, though. A lot of young birds.
Yeah,
so.
can you drop me that pin? Because I need to get there for spring.
We'll see how fat your wallet is after we get done.
That's funny. What about you, Chad?
Yeah, man. So we had the Element guys come in.
Yep.
They ended up staying at the house, and I tried to get them on some deer. It was tough, dude. We were getting pictures of deer on camera all week long, and then literally 2 days before the season opened up, I don't know if you experienced this, Hunter, but literally all my deer just disappeared off of camera.
That's how mine were.
That's about how it was for us.
My grandpa, he's like, man, these bucks have been out here every evening. The Wednesday night before church, I remember I told you.
You told me.
I said, got to church. He's like, hey, one of them bruisers was back there. And I'm like, oh, it's a done deal. Remember I told you both days. I was like, one of them's getting hammered.
Yeah, it just didn't happen that way, man. I think the general consensus among, all the people I've talked to, I think the white oaks started dropping right before, a couple days before, that Friday that it opened.
Yeah, because remember Friday you called me and you were like,
yep,
bro, the mash is already dropping.
Yeah.
And I was like, come to think of it, while I was walking out on Friday morning, I saw a bunch of acorns.
Yeah, you said you were skating on them.
I know.
About slipping and falling. So yeah, they just disappeared from my cameras, and we tried to get on some deer where we were having cameras, and tried to put the Element guys, Hunter and Brian, tried to get them on some deer, and it was not great the first 2 days. Actually, Saturday myself, I ended up seeing 3 bruisers come out about 100 yards. Dude. Yeah, which we'll show you guys some video of that soon. But they came out at about 100 yards out of this drainage into some beans, which was surprising because we hadn't seen any deer on beans. We sat over beans, Friday morning, Friday evening, Saturday morning, which I saw those deer on the beans Saturday morning, I think. Was it Saturday?
Oh, it was Saturday evening.
No, it was Saturday evening. That's right.
Because you texted me and you were like, 3 big boys, 100 yards. And I was like, next text going to be BBD.
Yeah, I was hoping, man. They were coming in. you know, 3 of those bucks were coming in on a frozen rope, man, straight beeline to me. And for whatever reason, you know, a car, this bean field is positioned on top of a hill on a lease on some property that I leased to hunt. And for whatever reason, the biggest deer was in the rear, and a car passed like 900 yards away, you know, down in the valley. And you can hear all the cars pass in this bean field because, you know, it kind of
just echoes.
Yeah, it just echoes in that valley. And for whatever reason, it echoed, and that deer just wigged out. And, you know, my wind was the wind was in my face the whole time. But they got to 52 yards, man, and I didn't have a shot because, you know, we've been getting a lot of rain here in Tennessee, and the beans were like
massive.
Huge.
Yeah, they were head high, and you know, he just wigged out and took the rest of them with him at 52 yards. I had 20 minutes of shooting light left, and they never came back out.
That's
man.
how them big dogs, man. It don't take, you know, because like an old doe or something, they'll come in,
Yeah,
they smell you. They blow,
Stomp
they stomp,
around.
they
Yeah.
look, they duck, they blow.
yeah.
You're like, man,
Fuck
one of
it.
them big dogs come in there, I'm telling you, they get the slightest whiff, they're out.
Yeah, they ain't blowing, stomping,
So,
they ain't hanging
Yeah,
around.
that was my problem because I didn't have any property to hunt on for the velvet until about 2 days before it started. And I
Yeah.
just so happened to score 20 acres. So we were just like, oh, you know what? We'll just go up there on Friday morning and see what happens. We got there, saw absolutely nothing. And then we were just like, okay, this is a dud. So that evening I had to go to a baby shower, and I ended up scoring 400 acres and another
At the
70
baby
acres
shower,
at
yeah.
the baby shower. And so I was
Best
like,
baby
I'm going to
shower
go
ever.
here. Yeah, for real. And so I ended up going there with Mike, and we got there that morning and we set up inside the tree line and saw absolutely nothing. So we were
Again.
like, okay, crap.
So that was Saturday morning?
That was Sunday morning. So
Sunday
Saturday, we didn't hunt at all. We were just like, let's just
So
figure
that
this
was
out.
the last morning.
Yeah. And so we were just like, crap, what are we going to do? So we get back. We go eat with you guys, which
Yep.
you guys looked absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, we were toast.
I mean,
man.
we just rolled up and you guys are just sitting here with your eyes closed, just like, what in the world are we doing?
Well, I mean, literally, we as soon as they got here, we stayed up till like 11:30 that night, and then woke up at like 3:30 the next morning. And we
Golly.
did that all
Yeah.
3 nights.
Yeah, we
of
did
the
that.
hunt.
That's rough.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that Friday morning and then Sunday morning. I still, for some reason, got up super early Saturday morning, but
It's
that,
deer
yeah,
season, man.
dude, I
Yeah.
know. It's just like my
Just gotta get
gears
used to it.
turn and everything in my body's just like,
I know.
it's time to kill.
Usually the heat, like I don't get into rut until it starts.
Yeah.
I'm like a deer. But I mean,
Hunter ain't rutting yet.
for some reason, I don't know, this weekend, because like I said, getting those pictures, getting the intel from the people that lived where I was
Close,
hunting,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I'm thinking, man, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I mean, you told me you weren't even thinking about hunting.
Yeah. I was questioning it,
I
man.
was
I was sitting there the whole
Well,
time
'cause
thinking, like,
last
is this
year-
guy going to do it?
Well, last year I about had a heat stroke.
Yeah, it was
Like,
hotter last year
oh
for
my
sure, man.
gosh, it was awful.
It's about
Yeah.
as hot in this room as it was this season, too.
I literally got up last year. I went Saturday evening last year, and I did a hanging hunt, and I got up, and when I got all set, like I had to sit there for like 45 minutes because I thought I'm gonna pass out and fall out of this tree. But
That's why you get a saddle, man.
well,
You
I am now.
Yeah.
So I
That's
mean,
right.
all is well in the world,
What are you hunting out of?
bro. There's only one, the almighty CRÜZR.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
Well,
I mean, that's what this podcast is the
so you didn't.
CRÜZR Radio.
Well, let's get back to the deer hunting.
Yeah.
But so you didn't see any deer.
No, we didn't see anything. And then that evening we got out. It was probably about 3:00, and we were just like, what do we do? We can't figure this out. And that's after you guys told us, like, get up on the bean field. Because for all the viewers who know, this is my second season ever of hunting. I mean, I did it when I was like 6, 7 years old with my dad, but this is like pretty new to me still.
Well, you're still a young guy. I mean, it's, you know, that sort of happens, you know, when you're don't really have a mentor. You go when you're younger, and then you
get out of it.
And then now you're getting back into it.
I'm getting back into it.
Now you're turning back into a man.
That's right. That's right. But
your boys have dropped.
yeah. Finally, I've been waiting for years. But we got in there, and we went to that section of the bean field that what's his name?
Either Hunter or Brian.
Yeah, Brian told us to get into, and we go right to where he told us, and we're trying to find a tree to get into, and we can't find one. And we were just standing there looking at each other like, what the heck do we do? And all of a sudden we just hear, and I was just like, oh, crap.
Busted.
And then Michael turns around, looks into the tree line, and sees a big old buck just flying out.
Pretty good
I was
size.
like, crap.
Good buck.
Good looking buck.
Shooter buck.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we were just like, crap, what do we do? So we like got on OnX, looked at it, saw another piece of the property to get onto. We get over there, and we're walking up to the tree line, and we just hear this dog just start barking.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so I was like, I'm going to go find a tree. I was like, you take care of the dog. And
So he killed it?
I don't know what he
Put
did.
it in a chokehold,
well, hold on. I'll get to that because we're standing there, and all of a sudden the dog just comes out of nowhere on the property that we're hunting. And he's just like, hey, pet me. And I was like, no, dude, get out of here.
So it was like a house dog.
Oh, yeah. It was a beautiful German Shepherd, but I'll tell you what, if I had a shotgun, it would have been dead. So
That's
I
terrible.
was mad. I was absolutely mad.
Apparently it was a talking dog because it said, hey, pet me.
Yeah. But, and so anyways, we finally get the dog to go away, and we're standing there. We're like, okay, there's no trees here either to set up in to like right against the bean field. So we go to check out this other part of the property, and we get there, and we're standing there looking for a tree, and then we hear something inside the tree line. And I was like, okay,
It's fixing to go down.
it's about to go down. I'm about to kill a big old buck. And it starts moving pretty quickly, and it's moving quickly towards us. And I was like, okay, maybe this isn't a buck.
It's the dang dog.
It's the dog. And the dog comes
my.
back out of nowhere. It like tracked us probably another 400 yards to where we went. And then just was like, hey, pet me. And so I was like, all right, this is it. I'm done. And so at that point, it was just like, it was pointless for us to try to find a place because it was getting way too like shooting hours to try to find a place to go. So we were just let's go.
It's tough to like go onto a new property that you've never stepped foot on and try to set up and expect a
booner to come out.
Yeah. Well, we don't have many booners in Tennessee, but
there's some big ones killed.
there are some big ones.
Mr. Hunter's got the Putnam County record, don't you?
Yeah.
Muzzleloader record. That's right.
That's awesome.
As luck would have it. Thanks,
And
Dad.
probably got some more. Probably got some more records that he was hunting, but
Yeah.
We got some more.
Hopefully we can get those
Some
on camera
offspring,
this season,
huh?
man.
Some offspring for sure.
yeah.
They just look too much alike.
Yeah, but nah, I mean that's just hunting, dude.
Yeah.
It's
But do you ever
it's
get
tough.
like when you're in that situation, like you got all day, but the whole day it's like almost hard to enjoy it because you like constantly feel that sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Because like in my mind, I'm always like, man, I'm fixing to run up on one at any second. I need to get sat down now.
Yeah, no, it was nerve-wracking, man. I mean, especially with us not knowing the property at all. I mean, it was just so hard for us to just, like, feel confident in where we were going.
100%. Because, I mean, there's those stories where people walk in and...
Yeah, killed
Get lucky.
170s.
Yeah, I mean, that happens, but most of the time, it's not like that at all.
It's not like that at all.
Well, like I said, going to a new property, man,
Right.
it's gonna be tough. You got to put in some homework if you expect it.
For sure.
Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some skill involved there. Obviously, there's luck that's involved too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I think it's important too, because I was talking to, I believe it was Hunter about this, just like going back to the roots of how we used to hunt, where it's just like no trail cams, nothing.
Well, see, that's what I did on my lease. Like, I haven't ran trail cameras up there in 2 years. And I share the lease. It's about 1,000 acres, and I share it with like 8 other guys.
Right.
TJ was going to be here tonight. He's actually on the lease as well. And I know where everyone hunts at, where they like to hunt, where they like to set up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know that no one's going to be like in this area.
Right.
Because it's kind of a tough hike to get back in there.
Yeah. I mean, I did that
So-
turkey hunt with TJ, and I saw how rough that terrain can be.
Yeah, it's super steep hill. Tennessee's can be steep,
Very.
In fact, I took the Element guys to this property turkey hunting this spring. There's some stuff there on that video.
Really good footage.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But
You need to get on YouTube and check that out.
yeah, but I had never been to that part of the property. I've been there. I've walked all over this property, but I never hunted that spot. And I kind of like this property was set up where I was overlooking a bean field, and I'm sitting on real close to the fence row of the neighboring property, and they've got standing corn. So I've got standing corn to my back, and I'm watching that
Sounds amazing.
standing bean field. It's an awesome property. And these deer come out at 115 yards out of this little draw. Like I said, they're feeding around. They come to 52. They go back in. But I had never sat up in that part of the property, and nobody hunts over there. So it's like,
Yeah.
it just made sense. It really, it on paper, it just made a lot of sense to go right there. And I got lucky, man. It's
Yeah.
like going back to the roots. Like, I didn't hang it. I have no trail cam photos of those deer. Never seen those deer. I just picked that spot out on the map, and just because of the terrain features and how the wind was blowing, and
Well, like
It was a high probability area.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, we had talked about it, but I mean, in the last, Lord knows how many years, I hadn't lived it, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it this year, whether it's been busy with work or whatever, they just ain't had time.
Yeah.
So, I've talked to people that have come into work, and I'm like, hey man, you got any, show me
some good bucks.
Yeah. They're like, man, I ain't got no camera out. I'm busy, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. I wonder how that is. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the excitement factor of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it adds another level of challenge to it. Because it's just
100%.
like, for me, it's not so much that I don't want to put trail cams out. It's mostly just that I don't have the resources right now to be able to do all that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
so
a
it's
lot
like-
of young people are in that
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, and I think overall, over the next couple years of me hunting, it's really gonna take my hunting ability up and really understand like high probability areas
Right.
and where I'm more likely to see deer versus where areas I'm not.
Well, it's going to keep you from wasting time. But also,
Right.
if you put too many cameras out, you're going to
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah, you
should I
can-
go here? Should I go
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Like, it's,
Yeah.
You get
can
get a
also-
little confusion factor there.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can also, shoot yourself in the foot there
But,
too.
but chasing a rabbit over there, talking about the resources and the cameras and stuff, I just had this pop into my head. But like, I've hunted pretty much my whole life,
Yeah.
and hunting to me, like far as equipment, camo,
Yeah.
guns, calls, whatever, you accumulate a lot
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Over time.
over time. So a lot of that stuff, you can use, you take care of, you can use your whole life.
Yeah.
Because, every year before deer season, I always go out in the shed, and I got like 4 or 5 totes that I just
Start
stiff-
opening up.
Yep.
Opening up.
Do the same thing every year, and it's like Christmas every year.
Something new.
Yeah. You're like, man.
Dadgum, I forgot
Yeah,
about
like
this.
you find something in the pack, and you're like, what the? I don't even remember getting that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. I mean, this is my second full year of hunting, and I mean, it's just where I've gone from where I started to where I am now. I mean, I could tell a massive difference in just like know-how, equipment as well,
Right.
and then just overall enjoyment.
And it's,
too.
I mean, it's
fun.
the people you surround yourself to. Because, I mean, if you got buddies that hunt, that are avid hunters, that
Yeah.
have got experience hunting over X amount of years, then, you know, then you rip a little bit of their knowledge
Yeah.
too, hunting with them or talking with them or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, even with the trade shows, I mean, that's probably been one of the massive
yeah.
helps.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I didn't even think about that.
yeah, I mean, that for me,
sure.
that's been one of the biggest things that's really allowed me to tap into it. Because, I mean, I'll talk to some random dude in Ohio or Alabama or whatever, and he'll give me a piece of advice, and I'm like, wow, I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of like giant killers that don't have a YouTube or
Yeah.
don't have a name.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, the amount
You
of
know what I'm
people
saying?
when we were in Ohio that would just show me 160s, 170s, I was just like, why didn't you do that? Like, why didn't you video it? And he's just like, nah, I don't want to.
Right.
It's like,
I don't
dude.
care about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he tells me after that he kills about a 170 every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
well,
just
that's
like,
the
what the
glorious
heck?
thing of hunting, man.
Yeah.
That's the glorious Midwest for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, so my season, you know, the velvet season, I didn't kill anything. None of us killed anything,
Yeah.
right?
No.
So, you know, like I said, the element guys were in town, and the last morning on Sunday, Hunter Dickens, HTH as
Not
he
this
has
Hunter.
been coined. Old HTH, he set up in a draw in the morning, expecting deer to come off of the bean field back into that draw to bed. Well, he got there. He walked in. It was pitch black when I dropped these guys off. They walked in and was trying to find a place to set up. And as soon as they got to the top lip of that draw, it's pretty steep country like we were talking about.
Yeah.
They could hear deer down in the draw feeding around.
Was it
And
still dark at
it
that
was
point?
still dark at that point, so they just kind of sat
Scooted
still,
away.
so got right by a tree, like sat.
So they killed
and-
this thing on the ground?
on the ground. Yeah.
Oh,
he was
wow,
like,
I didn't even know that.
He was like,
I
man,
I thought
I-
he was in a saddle.
no, he was like, man, I'm really sorry I couldn't get it done out of a saddle. Like,
Bro.
dude, I don't even care. You killed a velvet buck in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's
right.
awesome.
And you know, it's like you had 3 days to do it, and you pulled it off. You know, which is
Yeah, we
awesome.
live here and we didn't even kill one.
Yeah, exactly.
And we knew where the bucks were.
No, Hunter's a killer, man, and HTH is a killer. But
It's
he
funny.
had a really good 7-pointer come in. You know, a dandy buck for
By itself?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't by himself, but this
Yeah,
deer
he had a
came.
filmer.
Yeah, Hunter
No,
had.
I mean, was the deer by itself?
No, the deer wasn't by itself. He was following a group of like other deer, doe, I guess. I don't know. But
Just
they just
socializing.
got that. They just got that deer on camera, and smoked that sucker at 20 yards on the ground, and it ran only 20 more yards and fell over dead on camera.
So, like, I've never
Golly.
killed one on the ground with a bow. I mean, I have with a rifle or
Yeah.
a muzzleloader, but with a bow, I mean, that's,
Dude, that's a whole nother level of challenge.
yeah,
I've killed-
That's some Squanto stuff, some Indian stuff,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
real.
Put that Mohican snake on him.
You got that right.
No, I killed 2 deer off the ground with my bow before. It's unreal, man.
So, a lot of y'all
But
may not know, but Chad's kind of a trad guy,
Yeah.
and I'm anxious to see
I'm
if you
Yeah,
can
I was
get
about
one
to bring that up.
with the trad bow. Because
I'm good-
I'm solely intrigued. Like, the last 2 weeks, that's all I've watched on YouTube.
well, you and I have shot a few times in the yard there, and you're just
I love it.
you're excited as I was when I first picked one up. But
I
yeah,
mean, it's super exciting. You let me shoot that at that bow shoot we went to.
yeah,
The whole time I was holding, I was like, what the heck? This is a whole different thing right here.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
and
a different.
if you watch like an OG do it, well, I say OG, I mean there's some young guys that are some straight
Yeah,
killers.
Yeah, straight
Like
shooters,
the guys,
man.
the stick boys, give them a shout
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I mean, they make it. I mean, the best way to say they make it look easy.
Yeah.
It's definitely not easy.
No, I know.
You got to put a lot
I
of
know.
practice in. Yeah, I'm gonna hunt with it a lot this year. I'm pretty excited to try to get a deer with it this year.
Yeah, we're going to get it all on film, too.
I just feel like if you can kill one with a trad bow, like that's like the ultimate, just for me personally.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it is, too. I mean, like, hunting blind is a challenge, but hunting with a bow without a sight is a whole different challenge.
Oh, my
the
goodness.
You know?
whole struggle stick they've
Yeah.
coined it. But no, I shot a doe last year with it, and she kind of spun right at the last minute. She was about 10 yards away. She spun kind of at the last minute, and
I'm choking him.
Wesley's got.
Do I need to do mouth to mouth?
Not
Gross,
yet.
man.
Not yet.
You still ended up killing her though, didn't you?
I did have to go and put a follow-up shot in her. But yeah, just, we're all going to make a bad shot every once in a while.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's
it
kinda-
happens.
That's just.
I mean,
that's
that
just
Part of it.
That was tough, the first deer I ever shot out with a trad bow, which I mean is probably just about everybody's experience if
Yeah.
they're going to pick one
Oh
up.
my
but,
goodness. Yeah.
But no, I plan on definitely keeping it in the tree with me quite a bit this year.
I kind of like that
Just bring
minimalist.
both. Just choose.
It's too
Just
much
be like,
stuff,
ooh,
bro.
do I want to totally kill him with this or this?
I mean,
I have done that with a rifle during rifle season.
Bring your bow and your
Yeah,
rifle.
exactly.
and
But-
most of the stick bow kind of guys are not saying anything bad about them, but they're kind of they got a little bit of a different turn to them because a lot of those guys like they're hunting in like plaid shirts and they don't wear like the
Back to
latest
the
and
roots,
greatest
man.
Yeah, dude.
The
camo.
basics.
No, that's what I think.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think it's
draws me
cool.
to it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's cool too because it's like we get so like caught up in the
Latest and
Yeah,
greatest.
it's-
Especially
camo.
saddle hunters,
Yeah.
man. We're as saddle hunters, like we do it to get more lightweight and get more
Yeah.
efficient, but like we can just get caught up with like the new gear that's coming
Yeah.
out.
For
man.
sure.
Like don't fix something that ain't broke, right?
Yeah, if
Don't
it
fall
works,
for all the frills and
I mean,
just we're going into the woods to kill deer.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the
Right.
basics. Let's
the old KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think it's interesting too because it's like you look back in the 70s and 80s and what the camo looked like back then versus now.
I mean,
is
yeah, a lot.
wild.
A lot of them were like the
Just plaid
red,
shirts,
Yeah, the
man.
red and black plaid.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we
It's
could
wild.
talk about deer hunting all day. But like, anyway, back to Hunter. He killed that 7-pointer, man, off the ground at 20 yards, and that video will be out. I don't know when they're gonna drop it, but
Yeah,
the celebration on camera was pretty epic,
I bet.
that's the best.
which as you can imagine. But yeah, and then none of the rest of their crew killed anything, and then Tennessee
didn't-
Velvet wrapped up.
Yeah.
None of us killed anything, and
Yeah, which is just part of it. That's hunting, man. Some days you get them and some days you don't. And
I'll tell you, the last 2 years for this velvet hunt, dude, I've been really close, within
Yeah.
50 yards of killing a buck.
I mean, that
both.
footage you showed me for this
Yeah.
year was just wild.
Yeah, there's some big old 9-pointer in there, and I can't wait to catch up with him. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can. But
So with the ending of the Velvet, let's talk about some flying doves.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
man, the old morning dove season in Tennessee came in, and it was
It was wild.
that for the opening morning. Me and Wesley and some other guys went to a WMA here in
Did
Tennessee.
y'all go Thursday when it opened at noon?
Yeah, well,
did.
it was so funny because I've never dove hunted before.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was my
And,
first time ever as
yeah,
well. So.
and-
Oh my goodness.
and
No
I-
wonder you were calling
I
me.
show up to work 8 a.m. I'm sitting there, and then Chad shows up and he looks at me and he goes, "You want to go dove hunting?" I was like, "What?"
So
I
you
was like,
didn't even know.
I didn't even know. I had no clue. He's
Huh.
like, "Yeah." He's like, "I told you this." I was like, "I don't remember this, but you probably did."
Well-
And I go home, I change into some camo, and then I get there and I realize I don't even need to wear camo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just
man.
sitting out in the field with 150
Exactly.
people, man. It was wild.
It was crazy, man. So I posted a video to the Instagram story, and like I was panning around because this field has a road that goes around it, and then the river is on the other side. So TWRA had planted it in millet, wheat, and
Sunflower.
sunflower,
Yeah.
and they had burned most of the wheat and millet off and left the sunflower standing.
So it was
And-
primo.
Oh,
It was
dude,
primo,
it was
dude.
awesome.
There were so many people in that field, which
It
I
was
think
wild.
is what made it so fun.
So let me ask you this: was it dangerous, or
No,
did y'all
I
have
mean,
like some OGs
I mean-
that were like, "Hey, if you
yeah,
know,
we
like-
had some OGs with us that
Yeah.
had Justin's dad, Mickey was with us. He's OG.
Yeah.
Justin's hunted doves forever. So they were basically like, when you point your gun up, as long as there's sky under your barrel, you can shoot, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had like I said, we parked at the road and walked in like 50 yards and set up in this sunflower field.
It was awesome.
It was epic, man.
Was y'all sitting
five
against
of us.
cover, or was y'all just
Yeah,
like,
we were
we
sitting
kinda
right in the sunflowers.
Yeah. It was just so funny because we were sitting there and Dove didn't start till 12 o'clock. So
Right.
we
got there at 10.
10,
2 hours before,
yeah.
so we're just shooting the breeze.
Dude, yeah, and the sun is shining bright.
yeah, like baking?
Yeah,
like
it literally, man, I looked like a toaster oven when I was done.
Oh,
it was
dude,
so bad.
He was so beat red.
Oh,
and he was
man.
wearing a short sleeve shirt. And
I
this
feel- I
man
feel
doesn't tan. He just
No,
gets
I just
red.
get
That's what I was
burnt.
about to say. I feel like you get red like a
Oh,
lot,
dude,
bro.
it's so
Look
bad.
at the color of his beard, dude.
Yeah.
It's red. I mean,
And dude, we were just sitting there, and I was like, I don't know how much I can take this, but I was like, I'm gonna deal with it, and this is gonna be a good time. 12 o'clock hit right on the dot, and I don't know how many shotguns just immediately started going off. It sounded like an absolute war zone, dude.
So the doves were still flying at 12.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was insane. That was probably one of the coolest hunting experiences I've ever had. Just simply by the fact that you've got 100 to 150 people sitting in a field, all facing each other.
49-acre.
So y'all ain't
by the
joking.
way.
There was really that like
Dude,
that many people
I'm
there.
not kidding you. Where the road was, it made an L shape, and there was a car behind each other every single step of the way for all 49 acres.
Bumper
That's
to
awesome.
bumper, man.
Bumper to bumper. Everybody was parallel parking. Everybody had their tents out, the grills out, having a good
TWRA
time.
was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Oh,
goodness.
dude,
So
it was
fun.
it was wild.
But I mean, literally, everyone's like, dove in the middle, you know,
Yep.
yelling out and
Yeah, that was.
pow, pow, pow.
That's
pow.
the fun
that-
of it.
Yeah, well, dude, just the fact
Yeah.
that you've got so many people there that don't know each other, and they're all coordinating with each other to figure out where this dove is, so one person can shoot it.
Yeah,
Was
it
just a
awesome.
cool experience.
So if you've never dove hunted,
You need to do it.
you
Oh
need
my
to try it.
goodness.
It is super fun. But like, yeah, we pulled up 2 hours before it opened, sitting in the field. You know, there's 5 of us. Mickey, Justin's dad, was about, I don't know, right by the road.
Yeah.
He went in the first row of sunflowers, sat up. We had Nathan. He was set up maybe 20 yards behind me to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Wesley were set up kind of side by side, which turned out to be
A terrible idea.
terrible idea because he would like shoot and I would feel like the muzzle blast like
Yeah, and then we would
So
turn
were,
around.
Were y'all sitting down or were you standing up?
So we were
standing up
standing,
most of
and
the
then I
time.
would turn around to shoot a different dove, and then Chad would shoot it right behind my head as well.
Oh my
It would,
goodness.
dude, it was wild. It was
Yeah,
honestly a
it's
really
kinda
good
dumb,
time.
and then Justin was probably 20 yards to
Yeah.
Wesley's left, I believe, and you know, we were there for about 2 hours before. He got a terrible sunburn.
Oh,
Wesley
yeah, it
got a
was
terrible sunburn before it even
bad.
opened. And then he's like, man, I don't know if I can hang anymore. I was like, dude, I got a long
How
sleeve
late did
shirt in
y'all
my
stay?
truck, bitch. By the way, you haven't
Yeah,
returned.
I need to give it to you. I need
But-
to give it to you. I need to wash it. Is what I,
I
need
think
to
4
do.
o'clock. I think we were there for like 6
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, well, and it was funny too because
Well, we ended up
we ended up coming back.
we ended up leaving because Christina, my wife, had class that night, and like I had to go home and watch the kids. So I ended up calling her. I'm like, hey, I really don't want to leave because these doves are just turning on about 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
They were starting to fly in heavy, and so she calls around, gets a babysitter, and like there's hardly any service out there. So by the time I hear from her, we had already packed up and like left. And then she calls me. She's like, hey, I found a babysitter. You can stay out there. So I was like,
Yeah,
well,
he
we're
just
out of
looked at
water
me.
anyway. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go get water. And we went to the gas station, came back.
And then went back?
Then went back, yeah. But I think between the 5 of us, we ended up killing, 14 doves?
Yeah,
12
something like
doves?
that.
12 to 14 doves?
Yeah, which they stayed a little bit longer than we did because we still
Yeah.
left a little early.
Yeah.
And I think they ended up killing some more after that as well.
Yeah, I think so too. But Mickey, Justin's dad, ended up going the next morning, and he said they weren't hardly flying in the morning.
Yeah, because you called me Friday morning. You were like, bro,
let's go.
We needed to go this
Yeah.
afternoon, which we never got together. But
Yeah.
I never had any intentions of going. So I went to the high school football game Friday.
Yeah.
Sitting next to my uncle, he's like, "Hey man, you want to go shoot some doves in the morning?" I'm like,
Why not?
I mean, I got a 410 and my wife's pink shotgun.
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you got an extra shotgun?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm sure we can come up with something." So, we get home at like 10 o'clock. I call my dad trying to find a gun. I was like, "Hey man, you got like a 12 gauge or something I can borrow?" And he was like, "I got this home defense gun." I'm like, "Yeah,
That's all I need.
Yeah, that'd be good. 14-inch barrel. Probably got a 10-yard range." But
Yeah.
anyways, fast forward Friday morning, I meet him at 5 o'clock. My alarm goes off. I go back to sleep. I wake back up at 4:57. And he sends me a text, "What's up, bro?" I'm like, "Bro, I slept through my alarm clock. Pick me up at the parking ride." He's like, "No problem." So we get there. It's breaking daylight when we get there.
Yeah.
And we're at some family-owned property. And,
Was this set up for dove or?
oh, yeah, it was set up for doves. So it's in a hayfield, so he left some hay rolls out there where everybody could stand beside. And, like, the driveway split the property. So he put people on the top side, and he put us on the bottom side. There's a big pond. He put us on the dam.
Yeah.
And it just makes a huge bowl. So I mean, like, it's perfect. So it was like a football stadium. It was perfect. And we get there, and doves are already flying, and we're waiting on everybody to get there. And one guy's like, "Hey man, I'm going to sit down." So we all kind of just feather out. And man, like you said, Wesley, they put all the young guns up there on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as soon as they get there, it sounded like a freaking war zone.
Yeah.
Dude, it was absolutely wild.
But
It was so fun. We were me and Wesley just looking at each other in the face, laughing.
Well, I
our
mean,
heads
Dude,
off.
it
Yeah.
was so funny.
I was too, because I mean, I was using my uncle's turkey gun,
Yeah.
a pump
Yeah.
with like a 24-inch barrel, but I mean, I still had a
That's what
blast.
I was
Heck
using,
yeah.
man.
But
12 gauge.
no joke, I was telling Chad right before we fired this thing up, I Statue of Liberty a dove, bro.
Did you really?
Dude, they were flying right at us. There was a pair, and I'm like I shucked 3 shells at them, didn't touch none of them. My uncle shoots one, and it like, I mean, I just like reached. He's like, "Catch it, catch it, catch it." Man,
Just right there.
caught
Get
it,
out
and
of
I was
there.
looked around. I was like, "Man, that would have been a viral TikTok."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because somebody just did the same thing and Barstool reposted it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wish you had that on camera.
Oh man, because when I caught it, like I like held it up, and then I put it down. Dude, my hand was all bloody. I mean, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Nate shot that one.
Yeah, and he
out
coulda
there,
caught
and he
it,
could have
man.
caught it. I'm like, "Nate, catch it."
Yeah,
And
man,
he's
you gotta
like,
lay out
he
for
was, it was
something
literally
like
like,
that.
2 feet away from him. He's just standing there watching it
he
hit
just
the ground.
watched it hit the ground. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, how far was that first bird I shot?
dude, he had Justin's 12 gauge with a full choke on it.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
With a
you
long
shot a
barrel,
bird.
like
Well,
a 28
it was
inch barrel.
funny because I didn't bring a shotgun. I thought I was just
See,
going to
I
be
didn't
filming.
either.
Yeah, he thought he was just gonna film
Yeah,
us.
and then Justin's like, "You want to shoot?" And I was like, "Kinda." And he's like, "I got an extra shotgun. Let's get it going."
Well, I mean, I didn't even tell y'all about that. We get there that morning, and as soon as my uncle picked me up at the parking lot, I was like, "Bro, we good?" He was like, "Dude, I forgot your shotgun."
No.
So he had to call my other uncle, the guy that we was going to his property, and he was like, "Do you got an extra shotgun that Hunter can use?" And then he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm bringing like 5." So we were good, but still, I mean,
That's Justin's dad did the same
Yeah.
thing, dude. He pulled out like 7 shotguns.
Yeah, he was just showing them to us like they were prize pieces. It was the funniest thing.
actually,
Which
some
some
of
of them were.
some
Some
of
of them
them
that's
were.
how these
awesome.
were. I mean,
Yeah.
and I ended up using my uncle's gun, and he ended up using the one that Jimmy gave us. So
Yeah.
I mean, and it, like you said, it was like an old 16
16
500
gauge or
A
something.
yeah.
Browning, like super nice, and he was, I mean, murdering the doves.
Yeah.
It's so funny. How far do you think that shot was though? Like
At least 50 or 60
it,
yards.
it was
Oh my
it was
goodness.
it was
Yeah,
a far
dude.
shot.
Did
and
you
it was
kill
the,
it?
it was
He
the, yeah,
killed
it
it,
was
yeah.
the first shot that
he
we had.
took.
Yeah. First shot ever. I had
Yeah.
a dove and I killed one.
So it'd been like 4 or 5 years since I'd been. So it took me a while to kind of get my range with the gun that I was using.
Swinging lead.
Yeah, because my little cousin, dude, like you said, they'd be like 100 yards out. And we're like, hey, man, 12 o'clock, trying
Yeah,
to get them where
yeah.
they're coming in. Dude, he's just like open fire. I'm like, dude,
Yeah. You're not going to hit
you're
those,
not
kid.
going to hit those, man. You're turning them towards everybody else. But, I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is.
That's the fun part about
Yeah.
it, man. It's,
Dude, it's a solid time. I got to say, like, I've always given, like, bird hunters, not crap, but just, like, how do you see that as, like, a fun thing?
Oh, man.
But
it is so
after
fun.
I've done it,
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get every
Well, I mean,
bit of it.
you think about it. Like, my grandpa, an OG quail hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that used to be a big scene. Bird hunting used to be a big thing.
yeah, especially quails, but they.
Yeah.
We ain't got no wild ones anymore.
Mm-mm.
But, I mean, he talks about all the time how they'd load up their old cars and throw their dogs in the back and
Yeah.
dudes just like we did, be there at daylight, anywhere,
Yeah.
and kill the crap out of them.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's so funny because we'll go to the trade shows and I'll be trying to talk to people like, hey, get in the saddle. And they're like, no, I only hunt
Duck hunt or
waterfowl.
something, yeah.
I'm only a waterfowl hunter. But now that I've done it, I get it. I
Which
get
we're
every bit
going,
of it.
we're
Yeah.
going in December to Reelfoot
Yeah, that's going to be a
to
good
do
time.
some duck hunting. So
It's going to be a really good time.
They say
be
it
fun.
is, but everybody. What's
never
the
been duck
first
hunting
thing
either,
that
so-
everybody says when, if you're going to get into duck hunting? Well, they say, "Man, it's expensive.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's expensive." But I mean,
It doesn't have to be if you're
It doesn't
going with a
have to
bunch
be.
of different
Yeah.
people that are doing it.
but let me ask y'all this: did y'all have a dog?
No.
You didn't.
No.
Do you wish you had had one?
It would have been cool.
It'd have been cool just to see the dog
See,
work,
'cause
but it didn't matter.
We were
Yeah.
in a place to where, like, down below us was like kind of swampy, so
Mhm.
it didn't cut around. It was real thick,
Yeah.
and we had 2 or 3 birds get away from us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man,
Wish we had a dog.
if a man had a dog, and we had a lot falling in the pond too.
Yeah.
And dude, like 2 or 3 of these things got eaten by some massive catfish.
Really?
No joke. No joke.
Well, let's go fish that pond.
Yeah, for real.
Well, all we got to take is a bag of dog food
There you go. Or a dove.
or
Yeah,
a dove.
couple doves.
Yeah, they're man eaters.
Freeze them and wait.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
funny,
yeah.
dude.
So, dove season's still open for
Yeah.
us. So,
Yeah, we need to go.
There's
again.
like 2 or 3, ain't there? There's like one that opens up like the end of October maybe, and there's one in December
Yeah, I'm
maybe.
not really sure what
I think.
all I pay attention to is whitetails. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we're saying, it's our first year dove
Yeah,
hunting,
ever.
but it's still open, so we can still go, which I still plan
But
on
in all
doing.
seriousness,
Yeah, for real.
like of all the things that we've talked about over the last week or two, we've been more fired up about the dove
Doves
hunts that
than
we went
anything
on
else.
than anything.
Yeah. Well, it was just so fun, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
just,
doves are the #1 harvested game in North America. I don't know
Well,
if y'all
and
knew
the
that.
thing about it
which I
is-
get it now.
Yeah.
Like the main things of deer hunting that you have to not necessarily worry about, but just be conscious about, scent, wind, thermals.
Yeah, you don't got to
Yeah,
worry.
you
You
don't
don't
have
have
to
to
you
be
don't have to
quiet.
worry
anything,
about
dude.
none of that.
I mean, we were sitting there screaming at each other. It was so
Yeah.
funny,
yeah.
dude.
That's how we were.
High-fiving,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We was like, hey, they come from this side is 12 o'clock, this side 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like people
We,
were like,
dude, we didn't even
"Birds over
say
the
that.
pond!"
We didn't even say that. We just said to the road and to the trees. That's all
Over
we
the
said.
middle.
Yeah, over the middle and low bird. That's all.
Yeah. That's it. It was a good time, man.
Dude, it was. That's been a lot of fun.
I can tell you this: I'll never miss another TWRA put on dove hunt.
yeah, for real.
I've never been to one, but
Dude, you're going next year. You're
I
gonna
can
have a
only
blast.
imagine.
Dude, that opening day was something to watch.
Well, I told you, I was like, man, I have been researching shotguns all
Yeah.
week.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
trying to convince my wife to let me buy a shotgun's been the funniest thing, dude. I never at one
Well,
point.
she's a dove hunter. She grew up.
Well,
dove
dude,
hunting.
it was so funny because we got done, and we've got those birds in our freezer. And the other night, she's like, "Let's cook them up. Let's get some
Oh, man,
jalapeno
they're so
poppers
good.
going." And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like, "Watch." And she's like, pulls the feather, takes her thumbs, and pulls apart the skin, rips the breast out. I'm like,
shows you how it's done.
this is
didn't
kind of
she?
turning me on a little bit.
Well,
woman.
hey, man, there was literally probably, at one point, there was probably 15 people where I was at. But after everybody, some of the young ones, they cut out kind of early, but we ended up probably killing 30 to 40 doves.
Golly,
dude, they had these things, which I know that ain't that great, but they
That's
had
more
these
than what I
things-
had.
They had these things cleaned in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Golly.
dude. It's crazy. So when we took off, actually, I ended up going back to that same field the next day. I think I went midday. The TWRA agent was out there, and he told me, he said, like, for the opener that day, he said over 600 doves was harvested out of that one field.
Man, so let me ask
There ain't
you
no
this.
doves left.
No, it's
And
crazy.
I just thought of this. What is the limit per person?
15 per day.
Oh yeah, no,
day.
this guy didn't even.
I mean,
I didn't even kiss that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's funny, dude, because where we were set up, we would probably take a shot every 10, 15 minutes.
Maybe not even that.
Yeah, probably longer, probably about
20
30.
to 30 minutes.
For us,
Yeah.
it kind of came in waves.
It waves,
for us.
yeah.
Yeah,
Us
well,
too.
and I'm not kidding you, dude. From start to finish of where we left, people who were against that tree line always were shooting.
Yeah.
Always.
The trees were where it was
Well,
at.
I mean, I had a bunch of shells. I had like a 5-gallon bucket, like half full.
Yeah.
And before we headed out there, me and my uncle, because we were just going to stand beside the same bell,
Yeah.
and he was fixing to put some shells in there. He's like, "Oh yeah, we'll be good, dude." An hour into it, we're like scraping the bottom, and I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna have to go get your son to go get us some more."
Yeah.
That's
I watched a
crazy.
video for people who are newer to dove hunting. They said for every dove that's harvested, there's been like that person will shoot 7 or 8 times.
See,
Golly.
there was somebody telling me it was like 1 to 4 shots, and I was like, "Dude,
No, it's like 7,
Yeah,
8
it's,
shots.
I was
it's
fixing
gotta
to
be
say,
worse than
I
that.
tell you, for me, it was like 15
Yeah, I'm
shots
about
before I
there.
killed one.
I got lucky on that first one, and after that, I don't think I hit another one until about an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
but when you hit one, I mean, it's like,
You hit it. That's like my wife
but
was
the
asking.
feeling is awesome."
Yeah, but my wife was asking me, she was like, how do you know that you're the one that shot the dove?
You can tell.
Yeah,
I know,
it's
and that's
pretty-
what I was
it's
telling
pretty
her.
obvious.
I
Yeah.
was telling her, I was like, when you shoot and that dove blows up
it's
into a puff of
instantaneous.
feathers,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty easy to tell. There was a couple times where we would see some people be like, "Did you shoot it? Did I shoot it?" But I mean, it's
it's one of those where
very
you shoot
rare
at the same
occasions.
time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And the guy, my uncle that owns the property, he was actually looking for a dove one time, and there were some guys like over the pond, and he was standing on the pond bank. Dude, 2 came over. Dude, he smashed the lead dove. He killed both of them one shot.
No.
Saw it with my own
That's
eyes.
crazy.
dude,
It
that's
was-
that's where
awesome.
the term 2 birds with 1 stone comes in.
but for
right,
real,
dude.
because I was like freaking Yeti screaming, dude. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
It's absolutely funny.
Oh, Jerry's having a
Allergy. attack.
allergic reaction over here.
Yeah, it's
man.
all good. Hey, do you need to step away real quick? You're more welcome to, man.
Go get you some toilet paper, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. You're totally good.
Um,
We're just gonna keep talking about
keep
hunting
talking about
until-
these doves, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, man, that was such a cool experience to have, and I'm really glad to have that under my belt, and I'm super excited to continue to do more, especially this season. I mean, it's been such a crazy experience the past year, especially with me starting to work more with CRÜZR and
Yeah.
us doing other things as well. It's been
Depending on our
Crazy
schedules and
couple
the
weeks.
deer activity, I mean, if that second or third season, if there is one,
yeah.
depending on how deer season's going,
Yep.
I might entertain it.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
gonna have
super
to.
excited. But not only that, we've got opener coming up pretty soon, man.
Yeah.
It's knocking on the
Pumped,
door.
son.
It is. I mean, as far as the new season comes, are you guys excited about it? Do you feel
Oh, yeah,
confident or
So 2 weekends.
any goals
in 2
that you're trying to
weekends.
hit?
Yeah, that 9-pointer.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my goal.
What about you, Hunter?
I'd really like to see my dad get a hold of.
One of them
Some of the
big
stuff
boys.
that
We
he's
need to get it
got.
on video, man.
Yeah, I
Oh,
want to
he'd
come
be
film
down.
Jeff or film him.
He'd be
Yeah.
down.
I'm super excited, man. I've got a goal of trying to get some meat in the freezer and actually fill it up
Me
this
too.
year.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's kind of been my biggest thing, especially with hunting, is just being able to feed a family. It's been
Yeah.
super cool.
Well, I've been blessed to fill almost every tag that I've had over
Yeah.
the last few years. So I've been giving a lot away to family.
See,
Yeah.
I did eat a buck tag last year, but that's
part of it.
over the
sometimes.
last 5 to 8 years, I haven't killed very many. I've been like super hard horn hunting.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Well,
this,
it makes
year,
sense.
This year,
but-
I'm gonna try to kill a couple of does with my bow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What it is going to be for me is fill the freezer and then fill those buck tags. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm thinking. Is try to get in there, get the meat, and then from there be able to try to get some horns.
with you only having 2 buck tags, I mean
I think it's fun to try to get on one early season.
it is,
When
but
they're still in that
it does
feed.
make you be a little more choosy, or it does me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my goal is to try to get on one early in the season. Definitely more than likely try to get it with the traditional archery equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, which would be dope, dude.
Yes.
And then I'll try to kill a couple does, and then we in Tennessee we get 2 buck tags all year. Archery you get 4 doe tags. So I try to fill all those tags,
And
at
depending
least the
on-
4 doe tags, and then muzzleloader comes in, you get another doe tag, and then gun comes in, you get another doe tag.
for our county, depending on
Yeah.
what county you're in.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
it's
depending
like,
which unit, it's wild, especially with the CWD going on, man.
some it's like 4 does a day, or
Yeah.
3 does
The
a
next
day.
the next county to the west of us is literally 4 does a day.
Yeah, that's been the wildest thing because
Or
my
3 days a
wife
day, I
my
don't
wife
know.
is from
It's 3 or
Memphis,
4.
which that whole area is CWD.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. My brother-in-law,
See, they-
every time he goes hunt, 3 does.
Yeah.
this velvet hunt
Literally comes and talks to her parents. And just backseat is sitting 3
Yeah.
does.
in the CWD area, the velvet hunt you could hunt with a rifle.
Yeah, that's the wildest.
Because there was a guy that posted on
yeah,
Facebook,
yeah,
and I was reading the comments. I'm like, dude, this guy is going to get
so busted.
so busted. And then I got to reading the comments,
Yeah, it's because he was
and
CWD.
they were like CWD, and I was like, oh, thank
Yeah,
goodness.
it was funny because I was talking to my brother-in-law and I was just like, man, I got to find a place to hunt for velvet. And he's like, dude, come here. He's like, you can kill it with a rifle. I was like, what the heck are you talking about, dude?
That's crazy.
It's absolutely wild.
Because usually when you pick up that rifle, it's cold outside,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or it's getting cold.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Tennessee,
direct
it's
correlation
it's
to
starting
holding
to
a gun in
maybe
the hunt.
cool off.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
last year at Christmas it was like 70 degrees. You could
75
wear
degrees.
flip flops, and
Oh, dude, I mean, every other day in Tennessee is 30 degrees and the other day is 70.
but
so,
the last few
Yeah.
days, like this morning, it was
This
like
morning was 60 degrees when I looked
60,
at the truck.
62 degrees. Man, it like I walked outside and I was like, oh,
yeah,
man.
I don't know what it is, but the moment it starts getting cold, my body just immediately knows that it's deer season.
Yeah.
It's the greatest
It's
feeling.
exciting.
Man.
And I feel like if you deer hunt, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Speaking of deer hunting, I'm gonna try to get Jerry into a tree this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
It'd be your first experience deer hunting, wouldn't it, Jerry? Well, I think you said you did something when you were younger, right?
Yeah, I've been out with my dad a few times.
Yeah. But Jerry's a businessman through and through, so
I'm just a worker, man.
yeah.
Just get it
A
done.
good one at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very good one.
hard, smart worker. But yeah, man, let's talk about some of the business that we've been conducting.
Yeah.
We're
Well, Go ahead.
we're in full pre-season mode for CRÜZR, and we've been shucking the packages out the door,
I was
man.
fixing to
It's
say,
been
so
wild to
what's
watch.
the traffic as far as volume been?
Yeah, I mean, we can't get into super specifics.
Yeah,
no,
no,
of
of course.
Right,
But I
of
can
course.
tell you, we've been preparing for this for
Since
a little
January.
while.
all year long.
Yeah.
And our main goal is that if you want to buy a product from CRÜZR, you can get a product from CRÜZR, and there's not going to be a wait. That we're going to take care of you before and after the sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Which it shows, man. I mean, the people who talk about you guys on Facebook, I've never seen any comments that have consisted of something
Negative.
bad or negative towards CRÜZR. Everybody talks about Jerry. Chad has always helped me, which has been something that's been really cool to kind of watch and be a part of. It's been a really cool experience the past couple of weeks to be able to work with you guys and tune in and figure out what works and what
Well,
doesn't.
when you buy from CRÜZR, it's a personal experience.
Yeah, no, it very much so is. I mean, just sitting there and listening to the phone calls has been one of the coolest things because it's like Jerry, for every given moment, is able to help somebody. I've never seen him turn a phone call down, which has been wild to watch. It's like I can see this man
because that man is busy.
Yeah, it's like I can see how busy this guy is, and no matter what, he takes that phone call.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be right in the middle of an email or right in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And the phone rings.
I mean,
it'll get transferred over. I mean,
I could be wrong here, but I think I've seen him on a phone call, end it, and then answer another phone call just to be able to help a
100%.
customer.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all this: compared to last year, getting ready for deer season, what's it been like this year? As far as like, maybe what you've learned, or
we've learned a lot
to prepare.
We've learned a lot. Our first year in business, we were sort of jumping in blind, so we didn't really have a lot of numbers to look at. We didn't know.
Which is part
what was
of
going to
business.
happen, but this year it's been a lot more data driven. It's been a lot more being able to make informed decisions, and it's really helped us out in order to be able to fulfill our promise to our customers as far as we're going to take care of you. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, you said the first year was tough. We were in blind, but we did have a year in between the first and this year. Our second year in business, which. We prepared pretty hard for that one as well. But toward like right now, right before preseason, right at preseason, before the season opener, we got to a point where we started experiencing some more lead times and stuff. So like,
And that was have to do with COVID and
I mean, it had a lot to do with a lot of stuff. But this year, I think we prepared better than we've ever prepared.
Yeah, and I think you guys have reaped the benefit of that too. And I've been able to see that, which has been really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, it's been hard work, but.
Yeah, no, you guys work really freaking hard.
I mean, these guys are trying to hold down the fort and do trade shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And in between that, have a family, have kids.
I know it. I mean, because get anybody that associates CRÜZR, when they come to the booth, who do they want to talk to?
Chad Rice.
They always
Chad
want to talk
Rice
to
or Jerry
Chad.
Turner.
So that right there tells you.
Yeah.
It's like I called and talked to this guy on the phone. I think his name was Jerry. Like, yeah, Jerry's right over there, man.
Yeah.
But we're just grateful.
Yeah, man.
We're
just-
grateful. We don't mind the work. We love to take care of people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we are, man. We're entrepreneurs, both of us.
Ambitious.
Yeah, we're ambitious.
Hardworking men.
We've both been in business for ourselves for a long time. And, Jerry and I came together through the craziest of circumstances.
But really, though.
Yeah, but I mean, God pretty much put us together to make CRÜZR what it is, honestly.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And
That's the truth, man.
yeah, man. So we're grateful. We give all the glory to him, man, and he's provided. And
Honestly, I think this would be a good time to explain, let the public know how you guys met. I think that's the funniest thing.
Yes.
yeah, it is pretty funny. Jerry, you wanna
Jerry,
kick it off, or
Take
you want me to
it away, Jerry.
I mean, the Cliff Notes version is really just, I was trying to.
You were trying to help your brother
I was
out
trying to help my brother
Yeah.
out. I was trying to move to Middle Tennessee.
because he
I
lived
was-
here.
I was looking for a change of scenery, but also
Yeah.
too, I had other things going on in the background. I wanted to dissolve a business and move on to something that was, I don't know, more fulfilling or more engaging for me personally. And it just so happened that out of the blue, I met this guy, responded to a help wanted ad. I told myself I was
You
gonna,
you didn't. Your brother
my
responded.
brother
to it.
actually
Brother.
did it, and I ended up being the guy that showed up. I know that's a weird story.
But it's
No,
just,
but
dude, it's so
let's get
cool.
into it, though, because
No,
it's really
explain
funny,
it.
'cause-
Explain it.
Jonathan, your brother, called me because your neighbor said, "I know somebody that needs help."
Well, I mean, he thought he was so. Yeah, it was all hearsay. He thought
be
he was,
fair, yeah, it
to
was-
be fair to him, because he's a great guy, really smart.
No, I love your brother. He's
yeah,
a good dude.
He's awesome. But he thought he was responding to the help wanted ad for like
Lawn
and
mowing, yeah.
running a weed eater and that stuff.
Which at the time I owned a remodeling company. And then Jonathan calls, and I'm like, it's on a Friday. I'm like, yeah, we're about to end the day. I said, if you want to show up to this address on Monday,
I'll put
you to work. So I send him the address, and I said 8 o'clock, be there. Well, 8 o'clock comes and goes, and then 9 o'clock comes and goes. In the meantime, Jerry's on the other side of this saying, "Jonathan, aren't you supposed to be working right now?" What did
yeah, and he at some point between the time when he first made contact with you and
he realized what the job was.
he realized what it actually involved, which was,
which he
Yeah,
had
which
no.
he just didn't want to, and that's
I
totally
was-
okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But I was in between gigs and
you had
really
some
just
experience.
and I was just bored, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm gonna hit this guy up. I don't want to leave him hanging.
Yeah.
But
And
Jonathan
I know what
ends up-
that's like, when you're
Yeah.
trying to get a bunch of work done, you don't have help, and I
Yeah.
was like, man, I got nothing better to do. Let me call this guy and just see if I can help.
Well,
him.
actually, Jonathan calls me. I get a phone call from Jonathan at like 9:20 or something. He's supposed to be here an hour and a half ago. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry I didn't show up." He's like, "Honestly, I thought the job was something different." And he said, at this time, I had no help. I had like 2 people helping me, and I had 2 jobs going on. So I was doing one job by myself. And Jonathan ends up calling me. He's like, "I don't want the job. I'm sorry I left you hanging." He said, "But my brother has some experience, and he needs a job." He said, "He can be there right now." And I said, I remember thinking this in my head. I'm like, this is the weirdest situation
But come
I've ever
on.
been in. But I was so desperate for help. I was like, well, you got the address. Tell him to come on. If he shows up, I'll put him to work.
I remember telling
So
him,
funny.
you don't know who I am,
Yeah.
but my name is Jerry,
Yeah.
and I'll show up. I'll work hard, and if I don't know what I'm doing, I'll let you know before I break something.
That's right. And that's all I could ask for. And
Yeah,
Jerry,
that's literally as a business owner that what you want.
exactly. And we
Yeah.
were doing, what did we start doing? A
I think
tile around the shower, or some flooring? We were doing some flooring in the
flooring
house.
was the first one. The last one was
Yeah, that
sheets
tile.
of drywall on the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
And in between that, you
That
guys in the
sucked.
evening are sewing saddles together, and
Yeah, well,
the guy
I was
we were
doing that.
we
Yeah.
would drive back and forth between gigs because there were times when he would have. I think he routinely had multiple gigs going at one time, multiple job sites. So we'd be driving between job sites, and he was talking about something about saddles and all this stuff.
You're
I'm
sitting
like,
over
you're
there
over
in the
here thinking
passenger-
about horses, and
I'm like trying to figure out what this guy's talking about, and I think this is really
really early.
It was before anything was really popping off, and he was saying, "Well, I think you sold a few here and there."
Yeah, yeah.
I really wasn't that interested in it. I remember things started shutting down, COVID was hitting, and
yeah,
lockdown was starting to happen. And he
And
was
I basically told him, I was like, "Look, man, this is our last job." I said, "I don't have another one lined up for like a couple of weeks." And I said, "I do have this thing on the side." And I was like, "It involves sewing." And I was like, "If you're interested in learning how to run a sewing machine, I can keep you working until this next job goes."
he had already gotten started on this side project for quite some time.
Yeah,
obviously.
a couple of
Yeah.
months.
Because
for
I
sure.
remember going over to his garage. We were collecting tools. He had, guys
Looks
got
like a bomb
ton
went
of-
off.
A ton of tools.
Yeah, it
right?
does look like that.
And I was like, "What's over there in the corner?" He's like, "There's like 3 industrial grade sewing machines." Like,
were you running out of your garage?
Like
At
he's,
the time?
Yeah, at the time,
he's got planers and he's got band saws and he's got all his tools and stuff. But then there's these sewing machines.
Sewing
Like,
machines in the corner.
What's going on with this? And then, long story short, next thing I know, he's got me over there on Saturdays, on the weekends. We're sewing stuff up, and
And then that last job ended, and I was like, "Let's just hit it hard, man."
let's make a run for it.
That's
I
awesome.
remember
But at the same time, like, I had no idea that Jerry had any kind of business.
Yeah, this
sense
is
about it.
honestly. I think this
I-
is my favorite part.
I
Yeah.
didn't plan.
It's divine.
I didn't plan on it.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
real.
No, I don't think either of us planned it. I was just going to keep my head down. I was going to do what he needed to be done and go my way.
Well,
Yeah.
you even told me, you were like, "I think I'm going to try to help this guy grow his remodeling business."
Yeah.
At first,
yeah.
I was asking, like, hey,
Yeah.
if you, what's your vision here at the remodeling business to see? Because I mean, I don't want to hang drywall for
No,
Yeah,
I didn't
forever.
want it,
Yeah.
So, but we were trying to figure that out. But the thing about it is this guy, he's an incredible maker. I've seen his attention to detail even on construction sites, and he's about as picky as they come.
Yeah, I can contest to that.
Yeah, my wife can contest to that too.
If it ain't right, he don't like it, and there's really nothing you can do about it until it's right.
Yeah,
So-
which is a great, honestly, like as far as a business entrepreneur, like that's an extremely important thing to have.
He'll do 1,000 retakes until it's right.
Yeah.
There's
I
one-
mean, I think there's something wrong with my brain chemically sometimes, but
That's a good thing, though.
yeah.
No, I mean, it really does take that much effort in order to make something great, which is something you've done. I mean, your saddle, the people who support you, like it really does show, especially nowadays. I mean, when I go on Facebook and I see what people talk about, like I said, there's nothing negative about your guys' product.
I mean, honestly, it makes me feel weird.
Yeah, I
to
know.
I've
We've
told you
talked
guys
about
this,
this.
even podcasts in the past. I'm just like, oh gosh, I
Yeah.
don't like when people brag on me, but
I mean, you've done something great, man.
I appreciate it, man, and I've worked hard, and I feel
You've reaped the benefits of it.
I feel privileged to be in the position I'm in because I've worked really hard in my life and gotten nowhere, and you know, it's nice to.
I don't think. I mean, I don't want to speak for Chad, but I don't think he was going for notoriety or.
I will definitely was
recognition.
not.
No,
He
I could
He
tell.
was trying to make a product that he wanted to use.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
You
and
know,
I think
it
that's. I think as far as like business centered stuff, like that's really and truly when you look at everybody that's at the top, it's the same exact thing, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I was trying to make something that I could use, and it worked. And then somebody else asked for it, and then somebody else, and next
That's
thing I
how
know, I've got order after order. You know, and it's just like you guys have created something, specifically you two, that works, and people love it, and people want it, and sales are coming in, and people absolutely love it.
And what we did right out of the gate was figure out, hey, if we're going to bring a product to market that people seem to want, that's superior, that checks the boxes for people, how do we deliver that to the market?
And that's where
Jerry comes in. Because Jerry's a guru as far as business goes.
Yeah.
In my mind.
He is.
And
this man's probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
I'll
man.
second
Oh yeah,
that.
no, I'll third that. I
You
mean,
don't
I
like to
think-
be bragged on either,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
the
truth.
I think that's been the funniest thing because when you guys originally told me the story about how you guys met, I just remember Jerry looking at me and him being mad in his head of like, why is Chad doing it this way? Why is Chad doing it this way? And then at some point he finally got just mad and was like, all right, I'm going to tell you who I actually am.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, listen, dude, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah.
Let me help you on the business side of things.
I mean, to tone it down a bit, it was less correction and more like, hey, this guy has needs that need to be met. You know,
Yeah.
like we got to do this, we got to do that.
Yeah.
And this is how we get there.
Yeah. You knew those steps because you had been in business for like 6 years for yourself and a family-owned business. And you brought that thing from like
Ground
the
up.
dirt to like,
Yeah.
you know,
To where you brought it.
making
Yeah.
several $100,000 a year, you know? So it's like to be able to do that, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know, like you said, you've read a bunch of stuff.
Y'all make
Yeah.
a good team.
Yeah, you guys really do.
Yeah.
Just like me and Hunter.
Amen, brother.
But
it really is a true, raw American dream story.
Yeah. And I think that that's something to be proud of too. You know, it's just, you see a lot of businesses fail and you see a lot of businesses that don't actually put forth the effort to do what it takes to actually be successful. And you guys have actually done that, which has
Right.
been
Well-
really cool to be able to watch.
well, we haven't done it by ourselves. I mean,
And to be fair to all the other entrepreneurs out there, listen, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
tough. A lot of
we
people
both
with,
failed before this happened.
Oh, yeah. Failure is
is part of it.
Yeah.
It's just working through that and just stepping forward.
Yeah, no, I
But
totally agree.
But I mean, me and Jerry didn't do it by ourselves. We got an awesome team of employees. And like, you know, maybe some people don't know this, but we still manufacture 95% of our products in-house. You know, and then the rest, that other 5% is still made right here in America.
Yeah.
So
which is something else to be extremely proud of.
Yeah, I mean, I told Jerry from the very beginning that, that our customer base wants that. We want that. It's very important to me to provide jobs in our community. It's very important that we support democracy. We're both, I don't want to bring politics into this, but like, we're both red-blooded Americans, and we support the freedom that we have in this
100%.
country. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and
Well, it's a big part of what we mean when we say we're grateful.
yeah.
No, I
we
totally
realize
agree.
we're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
It's not we're not here in a vacuum.
That's right.
I totally agree, man. It's just been really cool to watch, man, especially to be a part of for the past couple months where I've like finally got to step in and sit down in the office and see how you guys do things day to day. It's been a wild experience just to talk to you guys business, talk to you guys as friends, and then just, you randomly show me something and I'm like, wow, I'm totally amazed by how you've done this because you've done it the right way, if that makes sense. It's been cool, man.
Yeah.
It's been cool.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm enjoying this human experience I'm living,
Yeah. Well, I think that's an important thing, and I think it's also important for us to bring up something else, which is the new platform. Everybody's been asking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to know. This is a good time to talk about it.
Yeah.
And
man, well, I'll go ahead and just get into it, man. That platform, we came out with our first platform, which was big.
Yeah.
Which was kind of all the rage at the time that we came out with that platform. It's like, oh, everyone else is coming out with a bigger platform. Maybe that's where we need to start, right?
Yeah.
So we did start there. And that platform's awesome, and people prefer it for sure. Some people prefer it over a smaller one, but, me personally, I had used a smaller platform from a competitor, and I knew that personally I would prefer a smaller platform. They just pack better. They're lighter.
yeah, there's a lot of people that do.
And when you learn how to shoot off of a platform, period, it really at that point when you learn how to maneuver around the tree off of a platform, it really doesn't matter how big it is.
Correct. Yeah.
So for me, I like still having a platform. I started with a ring of steps in the very beginning because you couldn't find platforms anywhere. But
No.
so I started with the ring of steps, and then graduated to a smaller platform, and then once we came out with our platform, I ran it and realized that I definitely wanted a smaller platform.
Yeah.
And so we went back to the drawing board and cut some weight, cut some material from the large platform. We got the mini seeker, and
It's about to drop.
it is about to drop. It's been a long time coming. We've wanted to get it out. I mean, we introduced the thing in January at ATA.
Yeah.
And it, honestly, when we introduced it, it still had a long way to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was not perfect then. It wasn't perfect until, a few months ago.
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of really smart people working on this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
We sort of told them we want this thing to be as light as possible, as easy to manufacture as possible, but also as safe as possible.
Right.
And so as soon as you start removing material and you start cutting down on weight, you start running into an engineering challenge.
There's a fine line.
It really is. And so, while we don't like to be slow to the market, we really we don't want to rush to the market either.
Yeah, that's the most important thing for us, is to make sure that product we bring to the market is market ready.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
that's literally a wise business move, and it's good for your consumer as well.
Yeah, exactly. They won't have any issues out of our platforms. I mean, there's, we've put our original Seeker out there, and honestly, we've had a few issues with a couple, but I see other manufacturers having big time
issue after issue.
Yeah. So, even the first platform, it took us 8 months to get that thing on the market.
It took a while, but really it's mostly directed around, how do we make this to where it's relatively we can deliver this to the market. It's not too complicated to actually make. It's cost competitive, but also too, how do we build in a super wide as possible of a margin of safety? Like, we're going to have a platform that's rated for 300 pounds, but we need this thing to be as strong as we can physically get it. Yeah. And we're not really happy until we're impressed by the test results.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I was pretty impressed with the test results. We found those out, right when probably about an hour in of our dove hunt.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you in on it. Jerry, actually, did you call me while we were out there?
I think I did. I think I called you. You might have me on speakerphone or something.
I did have you on speakerphone. I just remember
sitting there and listening, and I was just like, holy crap. I was like, this is impressive.
Yeah. So Jerry called and said, hey, we just got the test results back for the mini platform. And what'd you tell me? 1,400 pounds, and it didn't break?
Yeah, so it didn't actually break. There was none of the
that's
main
amazing.
Body parts actually
that's just
break.
wild.
And if you really got to try and wrap your head around the fact that you've got an aluminum alloy product that's
it's right at 3 pounds, 3 ounces, something
it's
like that.
3 pounds, 3 ounces, and it's cast, and
it's that strong.
And
they loaded 1,400 pounds on it, and it didn't break any of the castings. Literally the angle of the platform got so far down that the leveling bolt slipped.
Yeah, so it wasn't even the platform itself.
It was the steel fasteners. So
steel fastener broke, not the
not the platform.
That's amazing.
Grade 8 bolts. But the thing about it is you're what that says is that even if you have that, it confirms the fact that you have that. And this is after the actual test had been performed. Because we always get that phone call. It's like, well, we did the sort of ANSI test. We were able to certify that it's safe to enter the market with it. What do you want to do now? Well, we want to see what this thing has got.
Yeah.
Load it to the max, break it, tear it up, keep
That's
going.
why we sent it to you.
Yeah, well, and I think it's important, too, because we've had a lot of people, like, send us emails, call us, ask, hey, where's it at? And it's just like, this should give some reassurance of where we've been, of where CRÜZR's been.
Because a lot of people are going to put their kids on this thing.
Yeah, well, and that's my big thing, too, because it's like, we don't need to put a product out and have any form of problem with it. And
exactly, yeah.
You guys... CRÜZR is reaping the benefits of waiting a little bit longer.
It's a recreational activity. People are trying to go hunting. They're not trying to make a life-altering decision. We've got to be safe, and that's our commitment.
That's number one. Yeah,
I totally agree.
My background in rock climbing, it's always, if you're a rock climber, safety is number one.
Yeah.
If you fall, you die.
Yeah.
Period.
You take your time.
Yeah, you take your time, you make sure your gear's correct, you make sure it's ready to go, and that's what we're always going to do with our gear.
Right, I mean, it goes right back
it's instilled in me. Yeah.
And it was expensive to get where we are now. It was expensive to pay
a lot of money.
to pay the engineers, to keep paying the testing lab, to keep paying for the prototypes, to keep
paying tooling. Yep.
Yeah.
To go through all those measures, but if it ain't right, it ain't right.
Yeah.
And we don't want to hit the market with something that's not right.
Yeah.
We're not going to either.
I totally agree. And then if anything, like, that should give all of your guys' consumers a little bit of peace of mind when they get up
100%.
into that saddle and they sit down. They know when they lean out onto that platform that the saddle itself and the platform itself is going to hold them.
And confidence is a big
Confidence
thing in the
gear.
saddle hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the first time I leaned out into a saddle, that was probably the most freakiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, it's
freaked out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm looking straight down, and I just remember going, I'm supposed to let go of this tree?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. But, I mean, so a lot of people know that we're going to be coming out with a set of climbing sticks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, with, the way we'd like to do things, that's another thing on the agenda is our climbing sticks, and we've been trying to walk that fine line of weight versus strength versus safety. So we're not quite there. And I don't know, honestly, I'll be the first one to say that I don't know that we'll be there by the end of this deer season.
Yeah.
But know that we are working on a set of climbing sticks. They will be,
and most people understand that.
They will be a CRÜZR product, which is going to be top notch,
Yeah.
safe, lightweight, packable, stackable, we will make sure that they are what our customers
Actually want. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I mean, to sort of bring what our engineers say into this, they say when you make it that light and you make it that, when you're working with these sort of criteria, we're actually on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys
So-
are making breakthroughs in the industry.
So
100%.
Yeah.
So when you're on the cutting edge of material science, or you're on the cutting edge of some sort of engineering challenge that might rival like an engineering challenge you would see in like aerospace or something.
Yeah.
It's no small feat. You know?
Yeah.
And we're just not going to rush
Takes a
it.
lot of work and a lot of time and
Lot.
frankly,
Also,
a lot of money.
And,
Yeah.
and a climbing stick is something that's so safety critical that
Yeah.
we got to make sure it's right. And we're gonna take our time, keep spending our R&D dollars, and get it right.
Nobody wants broken or bent sticks. you know,
Trailblazers,
so-
man.
Yeah. No
For
recalls,
real.
man. No reason for that. I
Yeah.
totally
But
agree.
I mean, so we're working hard on getting our sticks where they need to be. Hopefully by the end of the season, so around Christmas.
Ready for next season. Show
Well,
up at ATA.
a big part of that is knowing our manufacturers
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
We try to know our manufacturers well, know who's delivering product to us,
Right.
and be able to trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of that.
Yeah. And on top of that, all made in the USA.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
That means a lot.
but man, we're just gonna keep trucking, keep doing what we do, which is work our butts off to get product out the door. Keep trying to innovate, man, and
You're going to see a lot more
Yeah.
coming from CRÜZR. We're
Yeah, because you guys
Yeah, we
don't
got
just
more
have
products,
the sticks
yeah.
in the platform itself coming out. I know
Yeah.
you talked about it a little bit. I'll talk about it.
Yeah,
the
we're working
camo
on
backpack.
working on camo, working on the backpack. We're working on
It's
a
a lifestyle,
camouflage
man.
saddle. Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to be a lifestyle brand. We want to break into turkey hunting.
Turkey hunting's
yeah.
fun, man.
Potentially
a good
break
time.
into fishing. Maybe who knows
Yeah.
where it's gonna go.
Sky's the limit.
That's right, man. So it's fun, man. It's been fun. We're gonna still keep working, still keep
Keep going.
exploiting this opportunity that we've been given. So
Yeah.
And the whole way from here to wherever we end up, we want to always take as good of care of our customers as we tried our best to do up
Yeah.
until now. So
Yeah. No, I
that's
totally
our
agree.
commitment to the public, is that
Yeah.
we're going to take care of you folks.
yeah, buddy.
And I think that's why they've been so successful.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Well, that's been cool, man. It's been
Yeah.
great talking to you guys. Obviously, you guys are going to be on the podcast a lot more.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're obviously the owner
I'm
of this
excited.
podcast,
Well, I mean,
so-
I'm excited.
The
This
inaugural.
has been fun.
Yeah,
This
no-
inaugural episode has been fun, and really looking forward to doing it some more, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, this
Yep.
has been such a good time.
It's been a blast, man.
Yeah, and we've put such a lot of effort into building this set and getting
Yep.
it set up. And it's not perfect, but we're getting there.
Yep.
We got a couple more things we're going to change up and add,
Yep.
and it's going to be a good time.
More
Jerry?
topics.
Yeah,
Some
a lot more
guests.
topics.
Yeah. Hopefully, grab some guests to come on as well. So,
Yeah,
if anybody is anybody knows that somebody knows someone that wants to come on the podcast, or if you
email us.
listen to this and you want to come on the podcast, just holler at us, support at CRÜZRSaddles.com, and
yeah,
we'd love to hear everyone's story, man.
yeah. No, I definitely think that'd be cool. I think it'd be awesome too if we could get some just random people who don't have the video cameras who just killed.
Yeah, like some
Big
local,
old booners,
some
man.
local headhunters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just tell their stories, man. I think that would be a
Some
good
local
time.
legends.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We got them.
We do. We've
Absolutely.
got a couple. You're one of them, man.
I don't know about all that.
Hey,
You've
boy.
got the record, man.
Man, a lot of people don't know.
But that's the best part. That's why you're my co-host.
I
man.
know, man. I know.
Well,
I mean,
cool.
there ain't no video of that deer anywhere.
No.
But we gotta
We
actually
got a
put
few
it on it.
pictures, though.
Yeah, we got a picture. You got it mounted. We just need to bring it in here, and you just need
Well,
to
I
hold
mean,
it like a little pet.
Me and Chats took it to some trade shows.
yeah, yeah. We've had it up on the walls.
Yeah. You didn't get it scored until 2 years after you killed it.
Yeah, I know. That was
And it
so
ended
dumb.
up being
And
the
you
daggum-
still got the record.
Yeah. Still
know.
got the muzzleloader record for
Yeah.
Putnam County.
It's crazy. Blessed.
Yeah, man. It's
That's
cool.
wild.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
good genes around that area. So
Shout out to
Chad.
Dad.
Yeah,
shout out
Chad
to
knows.
Jeff.
Chad's He's hunted. He scratched around
Oh yeah.
where that deer was killed.
Some of the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life are right around that area. Yeah, giants.
I mean, our county in particular is, I mean,
It's decent. We got some good ones here, but in that particular area, never seen bigger deer in our vicinity. So anyway,
Yeah, well,
we're
cool.
getting to about 2 hours on this podcast.
Yeah, we've gone a little bit longer than we thought.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Co-host, appreciate you being on the podcast, and you guys are going to hear a lot more from Mr. Hunter, as well as Jerry, and as well as Chad. Thank you guys for tuning in.
yes, thank you. It's been awesome.
Yeah, we
thanks,
really
guys.
appreciate you guys. Make sure you tell your friends, subscribe, because this will be posted on YouTube and be on Spotify. So
we're dropping them every Friday, right?
yep, every Friday. So expect something. I don't know exactly what the time is. We'll probably talk about that a little bit more on the next podcast.
Yeah,
but
probably.
it will be on Friday at some point.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out, guys. It's
a
new.
work in progress.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
new,
is.
so-
It is, and we're gonna make sure we take our time and make sure we do it right as well.
That's right.
But appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep.